Hello everyone. Today we'll be looking at Bitcoin as well as Tesla stock. Most likely the Bitcoin review will come first and Tesla will be second. So the current price is $120,236. The chart here is very simple. Take a look, this was the top of the sideways range. Bitcoin traded within this range for many days. Yes? And we broke through the stop, we broke through it. And then our growth target technically looks like a movement into this area. Now we will turn on magnet right here. That's $123,306. Well, right next to it is Bitcoin's historical maximum. Could this be a false alarm? Of course it can, of course. And what is the next level that supports us? Well, you might think it's the second blue one, that is 116,935. But no, it's not. We need to pay attention to this trading range here. Well, the blue one might coincide though. And I would probably name this level, the one we dropped to, then traded at, couldn't break through, and when we did, we plunged down. This is the level of $117,265. So I see two scenarios. The first scenario is a move here. The second scenario is a move here. If we come into this area and get a bounce, then with high probability we'll go higher, and most likely even higher than that. If we go up right away, then most likely after updating the high, we'll see a deep decline. A deep decline at least to the current levels of 119,840. But for the most part, we could just go down here to the 200 period moving average, around 105,000 or maybe even significantly lower. Now let's hide everything and see what the monthly and weekly candles are telling us. Well, first of all, the weekly ones because the month has just started, but still. On the monthly candles, we see a potential bullish engulfing pattern. If this happens, if the October candle engulfs this red one, it will favor continued growth. And the way the Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and S&P 500 are growing doesn't rule out the possibility that Bitcoin could also go crazy and set new highs. But for now, it's too early to talk about that. There are prerequisites for this. But there's also a very strong overbought condition on the RSI which has been observed for a while now. And such situations often end with a decline. Now about the weekly candles. Notice that the current weekly candle is trading above everything that came before it. If it closes at the current levels, meaning it engulfs this entire sideways range, it will be the highest historical weekly close for Bitcoin. That means that next week or in the coming weeks we will set a new high compared to the current one. But if we close within this range and don't achieve the highest close, then there's a high probability we'll see at least a technical pullback to the area of $117,200. So that's basically it. So what should you do right now? Well, right now in theory it looks like a long, but this isn't the right entry point. So the correct entry point is around 117,200. And even then you need to look at the local time frames, like the 1 hour or 4 hour charts, where you'll see a bullish engulfing pattern after we move to the area of 117,200. And right now, well, in theory you could wait for some kind of bearish engulfing pattern on the 1 hour or 4 hour chart right now and try to take a short with a target of 117,200. Well, at least with a short, it's clear why. Because you know where to place your stop above the current high. But with a long, where would you put your stop? Right here? At 111,400. That's very expensive, yeah, $9,000. Or are you going to set it here at 117,200 or lower, and you have to set it lower? But where lower? Here at 115,000 or here at 111,400? Again, it's unclear. Ideally, the stop should be below the bottom of this green candle. But that's a huge stop. That's why it's wrong to go long from the current levels. It's just wrong. That doesn't mean you can't or that it's forbidden. You can do whatever you want. On the 4 hour chart, look, 3 candles have engulfed the green one, and that's a hint at a decline. But actually the next candle, which is now the previous one, engulfed this red one, and that's a reversal in the opposite direction. And here a bullish crossover of the moving averages is brewing. It has basically already happened between the 50 and the 200, but I usually don't consider those since the gap between them is too large. I look at the 100 and 250 and 100 period moving averages. So let's take a look at the hourly candles. Yes, but notice here, there's an RSI overbought condition, right? So it's risky to buy at the current levels. It's not right to buy in such a situation. You can buy anything you want. But is it the right thing to do? No. And the hourly candles. Look, the RSI is pointing down. There's clearly an overbought condition. There's a divergence present. Here's one RSI high at the price high, right? And this is a historical high. No, it's not a historical high, sorry. Just a high. But still, here's a lower high and its RSI is higher. The next high is higher, and the RSI is, well, almost at the same level, right? So this is a divergence, because as the price rises, the RSI not only doesn't increase, but its highs are actually decreasing. That's the situation. Subscribe to the channel and leave your comments. I think that Bitcoin is more likely to continue growing, but it's more probable that it will do so after dropping to the level of $117,200. Goodbye.